Okay, it requires, I would argue, a mindset change or a mindset challenge. So we're going a little bit left field here. In my work at Cranfield, not only do I do economics, but I work in the area of strategy and work with lots of organisations in the area of strategy, some of them supply chain organisations. Okay? This is a paper and a book that I use a lot. It's a paper originally written by Donald Sull, published in the Harvard Business Review in 1999, Why Good Companies Go Bad. If you want a copy of it, please ask me and I will circulate it. Just don't tell the Harvard Business Review. Okay? Simple point that they talk about here. Environmental change over time is what is being asked of us as organisations, including a sustainability agenda. Sull's opening point is the problem is not that organisations are not aware of the challenge that is in front of them. They are aware of the challenge that is in front of them. They do know what is being asked of them, both in terms of a commercial and sustainability agenda. The danger is that the rate of change of our organisation does not keep up with the rate of change of our stakeholders and what they're asking of us. So the red line does not keep up with the blue line, okay? And what we actually end up with in phase 2 is what's called a strategic drift, a difference between what it is that we're offering as an organisation, okay, and what it is that our stakeholders are requiring of us. What do we then do? Okay? Before I go on, think of an English person ordering a table in a French restaurant. What do? We go in and we ask for a table in what language? English. And when it doesn't work, what do?
Pidgin English.
Yeah, we go into Pidgin English, we go slower, and we talk louder. Yeah, and mange too. Yeah, Del Boy. Okay. So, we repeat those strategies that we think brought us success in the past. Okay? So, Sull's next point is, the problem is not inactivity. What he argues is, the problem is lots of inappropriate activity. So there's lots of activity, but the organisation isn't going anywhere in terms of meeting its stakeholders' needs. And therefore he coins this term active inertia. Lots of activity, but we're not closing that gap in terms of our stakeholder needs. So what is he, and then in the fourth phase, we either get it right, transformational strategies. How many people in this organisation have got transformational strategies, in this room, have got transformational strategies in their business at the moment? I've got the word, yeah. Transformation is everywhere. It's kind of like a buzzword, yeah? We can't just have a strategy, we've got to have a transformational strategy. Please don't ask the question, what is the difference between kind of a bog standard strategy boss and a transformational one? Okay? Transformational one is when you close that gap, you close that strategic gap. If we don't do it, ultimately our organisation becomes irrelevant and may demise. Okay? So what are the drivers of this active inertia? This is the key point for you, and I think it's the key point in terms of the sustainability agenda, and it's the difficult stuff that you have to do. First of all, our strategic frames become blinders. So the way in which we think about the world strategically does not evolve to meet the challenge that is in front of us. Our strategic frameworks are not appropriate for the challenge that is in front of us, and in this context, the sustainability challenge that is in front of us. It requires a change in mindset in terms of how we think about strategy going forward. Going into a much more operational context, the processes, the systems that we use inside the organisation that have brought us success in the past, that we are comfortable with, become routines that we do not want to question. And that is something that we have to do if we're going to address a sustainability agenda. The relationships that we have inside organisations and with third parties become shackles that don't allow us to do what it is that we need to do. Some of those relationships need to evolve, some of those relationships need to be broken, and we need to move on to new relationships. And then finally, the values that exist inside an organisation that have united people, that have inspired people in the past, become dogmas that we do not question. Example, we've done a lot of work with the European Patent Office over the last year and a half at Cranfield. Okay, European Patent Office are the people you send your patent application to. They sit down, they go into a dark room, they take your patent application, and then about a year later, they come back and they tell you whether or not you've got something that is patentable. Okay? These people have brains the size of the planet. They like sitting in dark rooms. They are massively inspired by the quality of their work. They are obsessed with the quality of their judgment. Okay? Now, two things have changed in their world. All of a sudden, you people that are putting patent applications in want people to do it relatively quickly. Okay, so timeliness becomes important. And also, your patent applications are becoming more and more complex. So it is beyond. Even these, I promise you, these guys are geniuses. Okay? It's beyond the gift of one person, and they have to work collaboratively with their colleagues, with people who've got similar sized brains, not with half-wits. Okay? Like me. Okay? So, the issue then becomes the value of quality, which is the thing that they live and die for, is being challenged by timeliness, is being challenged by collaboration. But if we don't do that, if we don't challenge that value, we're not going to be able to meet the requirements of our stakeholders, and people will go elsewhere for the patent application. So for me, I think we need to think about the drivers of active inertia inside our organisation with respect to a sustainability agenda, okay? Not because I think that they are problems that exist in every organisation, just because I think it's a useful framework to think about how do I drive this sustainability agenda further in my organisation.